Hello everyone, it's Elizabeth here. Have you ever wondered about professional networking? How do we do it now we can't go out and do as much as we used to do? And also whether it's worth the effort. I remember when I started out in my career, I didn't do a lot of professional networking. It felt awkward. I didn't know what to say to people. I'd always be the one who really struggled. I'd spend a lot of time in the queue for drinks because that was a very natural place to talk to people about what event we were at. But going up to groups of people was never something I was interested in. And to be honest, still isn't, because I'm an introvert. So that's a challenge with professional networking, is putting yourself out there and having to have conversations with basically strangers. And it's even harder when you have to do it with computer-mediated technology, as we are doing with Zoom conferences and online summits and all that kind of stuff that we are doing now. We're trying to network virtually. However, there are some benefits to virtual networking in that we can attend events all over the world. So I got 3 different benefits that I wanted to share with you today about why we should be spending time on professional networking. And hopefully you'll get some thoughts from this as to what you can do and how it can benefit you going forward. So the first reason we do professional networking is because it's about spotting opportunities at work. And what by that I mean spotting opportunities for new projects, spotting opportunities where your project could contribute to somebody else's project, where you could perhaps work together, collaborate on different deliverables, or just by being aware of what else is happening around in the organization. So when I say networking is about spotting opportunities, you might automatically go to a place of sales and think, well, I don't sell anything. It's not my role to sell stuff, so I don't have to find an opportunity to sell my services to somebody because I don't have anything to sell. That's not what I do. Well, that's not really what I mean, although I know why you're thinking that, because for me, for a long time, networking meant, I'll just go, dish out my business cards, sell my stuff. But I had nothing to sell. I had nothing to say. So what the difference is when you think about it as opportunities, you're looking to make connections. How can you join the dots between what's happening over here and what's happening over here and bring everything together so that you can add some value to your organization with that, classic chestnut of a phrase, by making sure that you are helping your organization get the best value for money with their project, because you are looking for opportunities for how your project could do more with less, could do more to support someone else's project. Or you've heard about an initiative. This happened once. We heard something that another team was doing that was exactly the same as what we were doing. So, some massive miscommunication had happened there. So those are the kind of opportunities that you can find out about when you are networking from a perspective of listening. So how do you do that? Well, basically that just means ask a lot of questions and listen to the answers, and do that stuff where you are the glue of the project and you are joining the dots between everybody. So think about what you can do, who you can meet, how you can find out what is happening in their world, and then that would give you the opportunity to try to, join those dots and connect. Okay, so that was our first benefit of professional networking. The next one is because your boss expects you to do it. Now, my job descriptions have never said, I expect you to do professional networking, but there's probably some unwritten rule in your department or your manager's expectations of you as a professional that you will keep up to date with what is happening in your industry and stay connected to the ideas and thoughts of what a modern business needs. So if I think about that in my own experience, 20 years ago when I did my first project management course, it was very much all about monthly reporting, and we would do project monthly reporting. And that's what I was taught, and that's what I did for years and years. And it took quite a long time before I realized that actually my stakeholders needed real-time information. And nowadays, because the world has moved on and we have technology, you would not expect to deliver anything apart from a real-time information dashboard. You might send out email summaries, but generally, the world expects you to have moved on. You should be doing online collaboration tools and using real-time dashboards, and all that kind of cool technology is out there now if you want to use it. So this whole concept of doing monthly project reports is just archaic. So as a business moves on, so does your ideas and your contribution to your organization. So it's really important that you recognize that networking is expected of you. Your manager expects you to be able to stay up to date. And this is not about building an amazing network of LinkedIn contacts. It's about what you learn when you go out and go to a networking event. So whether that is a PMI chapter dinner, whether that is a day-long conference, or whether it's an online summit, or you're listening to speakers and chatting to people on the text, whether it's something like the launch of the PMO competency framework, which happened last night. The House of PMO, which is the new professional body for PMO professionals, had their kickoff webinar and launched the House of PMO, the competency framework manual. So something like that just had an amazing chat going on with people just talking to each other in the chat and asking questions and meeting and virtually speaking to each other online. So that was a way of connecting with other people, finding out what's going on in the industry and staying relevant. So networking is expected of you by your boss so that you can stay up to date with what is important for your career. So that is the second reason why we do professional networking. Okay, the third reason is it is good for your projects. It is, I mean, it's just good for your projects and it builds relationships. So the networking that I like the best, I think, is where I can do that and it builds relationships. Because there is nothing more that project managers need than good relationships at work. Managers need to spend time building relationships with each other, with up their level up, and with the team of people who may well be peers or below you in the hierarchical structure. It's really important that you build relationships with all kinds of people at all kinds of levels, because you never know when those relationships are going to come in handy. If you've been managing projects for a while, you'll know how important it is to cultivate those relationships. And in fact, Customer-Centric Project Management, one of my books, is really all about how do you build great working relationships with the people who are contributing to your project, because you need them in order to get a successful end result. And if you don't get a successful end result, then obviously that reflects badly on you and your project team and your boss, and can have implications for your project, because we tend to be judged by the success of the last thing that we delivered. So good working relationships improves the project perception of success, which is a good thing, because the more people want to work with you, the more they will be forgiving of some of those difficult challenges, and the more willing they will be to work with you to unpick some of the challenges that you have on projects. So that's one reason, but also because you need to know who people are. So when somebody says, oh, I think we need to change this part of the code, or I don't know, let's say, my background is in IT and business change projects. So I do tend to use a lot of examples from the IT world because it's what I know best. And so I would be listening to that thinking, but I know that if we do this, it's going to affect someone over here. And it's my job to understand those relationships and think through, we change that piece of scope, these people are going to be affected. Now, you might have a fantastic change control board which is supported by every department in the whole company, and everybody comes along and you have that kind of level of conversation going all the time. In my experience, even when we've had a change board, there are still some things where we think, where I as a project manager can add value by saying, we need to run that past somebody else, or no, I can't just respond to this supplier that wants me to write a press release, because I know it has to go through our communications office. So there's ways and means that you can use those relationships that you've built for the good of the project, because you are making connections and understanding how things work. And when you do that, then the benefit for you personally of being able to work effectively with these people, and by that I mean they return your calls, they return your emails, they show up to your meetings on time, they do their actions, they respect you when you speak, they solicit your opinion on things because they care about what you have to say, they trust that you're saying the right thing. They trust that if you say you're going to deliver something, they don't need to chase you every day for a week and micromanage you, because they know you're going to get it done. All of those things contribute just to making your working life so much easier. And that is really why having great relationships at work makes a difference. Okay, so we've talked about spotting opportunities through networking because of what it can offer us and how we can speed up our projects. We've talked about the fact that your boss expects you to do professional networking just as part of the day job. And we've talked about the fact that it helps you build working relationships across the organization. So that is predominantly internal networking. Yes, go out and externally network as well, but internal networks are just as important, if not more so, than having a connection of LinkedIn contacts from across the globe. So if you would like to connect with me, you can find me on LinkedIn, you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Twitter, and now you can find me on Instagram and Clubhouse. So you can look for my name. I am Harin Elizabeth on Instagram, and I am Elizabeth Harin on Clubhouse. So there's both two new places that you can connect with me and our community of project management interested people. So hopefully I'll see you on one of those platforms. Otherwise, I'll see you back next time I do a live video. Thanks very much. Bye.